So those fight sections I literally zoomed through, especially because like the level requirement was very low and I honestly think it should be higher. Infold, do not let people skip your story content. This is why so many people have no idea what's going on sometimes. But yeah, so we defeated the boss and now we're going into the next chapter, which is all from Deepspace. So all from Deepspace. And MC is apparently from Deepspace according to that Gaia research center person. Also, oh my god, music is giving thriller vibes. So let's go into the first part. Welcome back. As the protofield dissipates, the massive wanderer vanishes with it. The modified shell is still present when I fall to the ground. The arena's floor gives way because of the impact. I plunge into the boundless darkness along with the debris. My descent ends with a violent crash. Clouds of dust billow around me. My entire body feels shattered. Waves of pain slam into me. My right arm, I can barely move it. Please don't be broken. Clutching my stiff right shoulder, I squeeze through the cracks of the broken shell. Where is Silas? I'm pretty sure Silas has like regenerative ability, so he could probably help. A beam of light streams down through the hole above. It illuminates my position and reveals I'm in the middle of a towering corridor. Where's Silas? The floor was completely destroyed. I wonder if he also fell down. Well, he can kind of fly. Silas! Silas? No response. I hope he's okay. Suddenly, I feel a faint tremor in my chest. I whip my head toward the end of the corridor. Its source is near. Sorry, its source is there. The vibration is soothing, and it gradually syncs with my heartbeat. My feet start moving on their own. It's as if someone is pulling invisible strings. I'm drawn toward the darkness that lies ahead.
Active life form detected. Verifying identity. Verification complete.
Are you telling me that remnants, the Gaia Research Center, are still functioning? Huh?
Welcome back. 0. 0.
The sudden system malfunction warps the announcement into eerie static. It echoes between the high walls of the corridor.
Welcome back, Researcher Wesley.
Wesley?
Welcome back, Researcher Dimitri.
Dimitri? Is Charon? Who's West? Dimitri? I'm surprised for a moment, but the name fails to stir any significant emotions. I knew he was someone important.
Welcome back, Researcher Josephine.
Josephine? Huh? Grandma. As each name is announced, the system's voice becomes gentler. The empty corridor is seemingly filled with the shadows of people walking through it once again.
Congratulations on regaining consciousness. Subject 001. How are you feeling today?
Not the immediate callback to the Josephine freaking experiment World Underneath chapter. Oh my god. Voice is quiet, as though it's waiting for my response. Grandma's documents also revert to me as a subject, and this system addressed me with the numerical designation 001. It's me, right? Who else is it going to be, MC? Come on.
The following has been detected in the test subject's emotional state: confusion, weariness, and anxiety. Physical pain signals are also present. Subject 001. Do not be afraid. The nearest researcher is located in the observation room for demonstrations. You are currently 126 meters away. Please follow the guidance lights immediately to receive assistance.
A pale blue light materializes on the floor. Arrows pulsate one after another and beckon me to venture deeper into the facility. I keep moving. As I walk, more passages branch off from both sides of the corridor. Deepspace Signal Analysis Lab, Cosmic Archaeology Archives, Genetic Extraction and Analysis Center? The Gaia Research Center's scope of scientific endeavors is far more extensive than I thought. I keep walking until I see life in the future. Backtracker? Why am I getting teary-eyed thinking of Xavier? But Xavier? Xavier? Literally, even she's like, Xavier's! Life from a higher plane of existence. Emissary of the divine. Life from the ancient ocean. Hold on. Life in the future, backtracker Xavier. Life from a higher plane of existence, emissary of the divine. We will come back to that. Life from the ancient ocean, Lemurian civilization. That's Raphael. Don't tell me Raphael is also... The labels point to different corridors, and each corridor houses a unique specialized research team. Finally, I spot the sign for the unicorn research team. It's pointing to the most prominent door at the end of the corridor. My heart pounds in my chest. The truth I've been waiting for is within reach, yet I'm hesitant. I'm suddenly afraid of facing my past. Okay, no, pause. Oh my god. This is the second chapter, and this is an insane lore drop. Because that means they were researching across all of the allies. Also, she was able to pick up on Xavier and Raphael, but she's unable to pick up on who I'm most likely guessing is Zane, because also it's in that same chronological order that they like to use, the resonance order. Life from a higher plane of existence, emissary of the divine. I have been saying Zane. We already know that Zane was a demigod in Forcia, and then in Master of Fate, which is a Shinsha myth, he is a deity, or he takes the position of a deity as Dasaming the Master of Fate. That essentially makes him an immortal, but in the Shinsha context, not necessarily an immortal in the way that Xavier's immortal, or like Raphael is kind of immortal as well. But Xavier has more stagnant, what I would like to call stagnant immortality, in the sense that he is the same being who has existed for a very long period of time with the same biology and everything. Raphael is similar, but he goes through cycles of rebirth. So I would say that's more cyclical immortality. Like it's not necessarily reincarnation, because reincarnation is essentially incarnating upon like different time spaces, as opposed to rebirth is literally a cycle of rebirth. It's quite literally, if he is the exact same physical body, it's not happening in different realities per se. That's at least to my own understanding of what's going on in the function of the universe as well as the world. Her being unable to detect Zane within the second label speaks to the fact that they both don't have memories of their past lives, but also validates what I've been saying this entire time, that Zane is an entity, like his proto-original entity, like version is in the celestial sphere. It's in the celestial universal sphere. He is not just a man who reincarnates across different lifetimes, and then sometimes he's an immortal, sometimes he's a demigod, etc. No, he always is within the sphere of celestial and higher gods. Oh my god. And all of this kind of does feed back into the whole pursuit for immortality, because Xavier's from a future immortal civilization. Raphael is from a civilization that goes through consistent cycles of rebirth and is a long life species. And then Zane, however, just sits in a completely different situation. So I'm so curious how they're going to address his, because for them to even be able to see all these concepts, to a degree you can understand if they came across Lemurians as well as the ancient civilization of Lemuria, they would have then been able to like get to Raphael as well as other Lemurians. For backtrackers, and then essentially the long life species that Xavier's from in the future, they could have just encountered more of them, as there was a bunch of them, and a lot of them also did turn into wanderers that Xavier had to eliminate. For Zane specifically, however, he doesn't sit within... His story does not share that same linearity, so I'm so curious how they could even get to the point of understanding that. Potentially through the deep space tunnel, they've been able to perceive these other realities, perceive these other timelines, as well as perceive higher dimensions and spheres, essentially, of energy. But it's so curious to me that this is like that they were even able to perceive that, because the godly sphere within a sci-fi context is like so heavy into the sci fantasy. Like, you literally cannot remove the fantasy from this game. This is crazy. This is crazy. And Zane is next. Zane is showing up later on in this story. Oh my god. Oh my god, what does this mean for everyone? Oh, I need to sit with this. I need to sit with this. This is crazy. Because what we did know is that Caleb was from the same research facility as MC. It's not seemingly saying what that's about, but there was also this whole conversation essentially about him being the perfect weapon against her, etc., etc. And that might be informed a bit more by the decoherence myth. He was essentially like cultivated to be this perfect weapon because his evil can quite literally create black holes. He can be an insanely destructive force. And that's why he's such a strong weapon for ever, fast-paced fleet, etc. And that's like one of the core things that he stands in the narrative. But so it's kind of interesting that they're not really referencing him here. Silas, because he literally came up from outer space, sits a bit differently, and he's quite recent compared to the others.
To confirm, what I was trying to get at was essentially that Caleb's story is a bit more to do with weaponization of people and essentially experimenting and changing the human form, rather than the actual pursuit of immortality so far from what we've seen. That could potentially be why he's not as involved in this immortal pursuit area of the research lab, as opposed to Silas, who we know has insane regenerative capabilities and is a massive force of energy. However, he might have only been perceived by Eva, obviously, after his entrance, which is after the whole Gaia Research Center lab situation, which was kind of confirmed a bit more in his anecdote. So I hope that is all clear, and now we can get back to the video.
But they also don't seem to have a good handle on Zane, because they're clearly like, Eva and Xander Science is essentially trying to scope out Zane for his scientific prowess, but I don't think they're very aware of his divinity. But I have to say, this ties into a theory I've had about Zane, which I call essentially the master of the universe theory. But the fact that they explicitly state a higher plane of existence, like, it just really is validating my master of the universe theory. And I'm curious if there's going to be more bits that kind of touch upon that. If they do, then I can maybe go into it a bit more. If they don't, it's something that I will be bringing up in my own Zane character analysis and then speculation thread, because it's a theory that I've had for a very long time and it means a lot to me. And I'm feeling so validated right now. This is actually such a crazy moment. Okay. My heart pounds in my chest. The truth I've been waiting for is within reach, yet I'm hesitant. I'm suddenly afraid of facing my past. Maybe this is just a trap. But I've come too far to turn back now. I press my hand against the sensor in the center of the door. Resonate. The resonance triggers a vibration and blue light courses through the circuit. It illuminates the massive door that has been dormant for so long. The heavy metal door slide opened and warm light pours in. I turn my head away and raise my hand to shield my eyes.
What game are we playing today?
In a dreamlike haze, I watch as a tiny girl runs past me and throws herself into the familiar embrace of the figure standing in the light. Anna. I take half a step back and rub my eyes. The vision vanishes along with the warm light. She is able to resonate with things and see into the past. She's able to touch things and then see into the past and like basically see through time. This is actually like so freaking riveting and crazy, but also this was touched upon in Wonder. Like, I don't think people like took that entire sequence enough for the implications that it had. Like, yes, it was a cool event and we loved like seeing a bunch of different Chinese and other like just cultural elements thrown together and seeing the boys in different cultural contexts, but the implications of her being able to do that, to make herself and each of the respective allies pass through time itself to a different period of time simply by resonating, is insane. MC's scope of powers can be really insanely broad and insanely powerful, especially with the spatium core now. Under the harsh blue LED lights, a figure stands behind the doorway. They slowly turn to face me. You!
You're finally here. It's been a while, Subject 001. Our little bomb.
Why did he say it like... Wait! She blew up the Gaia Research Center. Right? Maybe. I don't know. It's like, it's an unconfirmed theory, but it's a potential theory. Oh my god. Oh my god. Okay. Next part. From greatness to madness. Dimitri. So that's why everything here still works even though it was abandoned for years. The real reason you're in Carol is because you're guarding the research center.
Of course. This place holds the buried dreams of countless researchers, the seeds of world-changing discoveries. In addition...
Dimitri spreads his arms. It's somewhat of a dramatic welcoming gesture.
It's where you were born. Your first home in this world.
I tighten my grip on the gun at my waist. I'm waiting for the next outrageous revelation.
Back then, the research team accompanied you every day. We raised you as if you were our own child. We believed you represented humanity's most intimate connection with deep space.
A flickering hologram appears behind him. Fragmented faces of figures huddled together manifest before dissolving into light and shadow. I don't recognize any of them, yet a warmth wells up from the depths of my heart.
After the Chrono Rift catastrophe, our team was disbanded. Many of us disappeared without a trace. I'm the only one who stayed here to keep watch. I knew you would return one day. I've been waiting for you for a long time.
I don't know how to interpret Dimitri's behavior as a positive thing or genuinely potential craziness because of the extent of what went into this research, as well as the implications of what MC could potentially do for the world, humanity, the evolution of the universe. Also, where is Silas? Is Silas being restrained? Because earlier it was said that Silas and Dimitri kind of avoid each other or something. So, is he allowing MC to have this moment? Or is he incapacitated in some way? Or there's something preventing him from getting to her? You already knew who I was when you saw me at Charon.
Why, of course! I can recognize our most precious treasure anywhere. Your power is unique, after all.
He unconsciously moves half a step, tossing me back away warily.
His voice becomes even gentler.
Don't be afraid, my child. I've been waiting for you this whole time. I must atone for the sin I left behind.
Sin?
I know you have many questions. Go ahead. Ask them. I'll tell you everything you want to know.
My hands are literally shaking. I'm literally shaking. Seeing the sincerity in his eyes, I hesitate. I ask him. I might be close to the truth this time. I need to hear what he has to say. You said I was born here. Why don't you tell me what happened back then?
While not an ancient beginning, it was still sacred nonetheless.
A hologram of an energy graph depicting the process of planetary evolution appears in the center of the ruins. Planets are born and eventually they die. Then they're reborn only to die again. Visibly moved, he stares at the floating data curves on the display.
It's a beautiful cycle.
I asked about my origins, not humanity's. You don't have to start from when the Earth was formed.
You think this is the life cycle of a planet? It's not. It's a representation of your life, your power.
Is he crazy? Go on.
You are Ever's most wonderful, most magnificent creation!
A blank expression appears on my face. Can't even pretend to play along anymore. But Dimitri doesn't care about whether his audience is responding or not.
It began in 2034, when humanity received a faint signal from deep space. Once it was decoded, it revealed a story about a planet's quest for immortality. An ordinary planet achieved immortality by harnessing an inexhaustible cosmic energy source. They inspired us. And so, We conducted an experiment using collisions to recreate this inexhaustible cosmic energy.
Which civilization? Please don't tell me it was actually Xavier's civilization in the future that then loops back to this.
After several failed attempts, one proved to be a success. The energy manifested. However, no one expected it to appear inside a child's body. And that child was you.
Huh?
The powerful energy fluctuations we were waiting for, they came from you. The power was impossible to analyze and measure. It only grew stronger as time passed. It grew like a planet and reached its peak on day 27. Then it started to decay on day 36. On day 41, it disappeared completely, dead. Then it was followed by an explosion. But shortly after, your power reconstituted itself and began to grow once again, just like a planet. Therefore, we believe the power of the Aether core within your body is equivalent to the energy of a planet.
That's why it can, oh my god, that's why it can feel... With growing intensity, his gaze gradually shifts from the hologram to me, as if he's seeking my confirmation. Fascinating. I can't help but let out a scornful laugh. So you're saying I could destroy and rebuild everything on a whim? Is that why you're telling me this? You want me to help you destroy the world? Dimitri's outstretched arms are slowly lowered. The look of dejection appears on his face.
I don't blame you for being skeptical. Even we who witnessed your birth firsthand were at a loss. We didn't know if we should let you grow up like a normal person or use you as a resource. Would this immense power lead to catastrophe?
Ah, there goes the caring facade. Took you long enough. Referring to this place as my first home, and talking about a magnificent creation, in the end, it was about making a massive profit. Even in the ramblings of a madman, fragments of truth lie hidden beneath insanity. From his words, I can piece together whatever wanted to obtain via unicorn. They desired a new kind of energy that was far more powerful and plentiful than Earth's natural resources and protocol energy. Maybe that was when Ever set their sights on the Aether core.
You have no idea what kind of temptation lay before us back then.
He's gone full madman. While Dimitri's engrossed in his fervent monologue, I keep an eye on his unstable state. I also use this as an opportunity to examine the laboratory.
We had countless debates. The Chrono Rift catastrophe struck when we were in the middle of our endless back and forth. And then it happened. It will always be the most regrettable thing I've ever done. I can never make up for it in this life. My career, my dreams, my colleagues. Those days we spent to achieve our goals.
Dude, I'm having shivers. What did you do? Something's wrong with him. My gaze quickly shifts to the control panel some distance away from Dimitri. I discreetly get ready to use my evo.
It's over. It's truly over!
Seemingly drowning in penitence, Dimitri falls to his knees and triggers a hidden mechanism. A surge of energy rises from below. The large laboratory begins to shake as the rails rattle. Oh my god, yes, because he was going to destroy everything anyway. Wait, it's not the laboratory that's shaking. Sensing movement beneath my feet, I quickly back away, but I slam into a wall instead of finding the door. A massive, curved glass panel has silently descended behind me. Its cold surface blocks my escape route. I barely pulled out my gun when curved glass panels, previously suspended above and diagonally in front of me, descend. The panels are about to create the perfect cage. I'll be stuck inside the spherical chamber like an insect preserved in amber. It's a mechanical trap. I had walked into the jaws of a beast as soon as I stepped through the laboratory doors.
Go on now! Fix our mistakes! Go on! Go!
Oh my god, I'm literally shivering. With steady hands, I slip a small explosive charge into the last remaining gap before the glass panels heal themselves. Then I get down to the ground as fast as I can. Shockwaves reverberate through the spherical chamber. A strong force strikes my head. In spite of the pain, however, I hear the rails get jammed for a split second. I charge toward the explosion site without a second thought. Using my momentum, I smash my gun against the area where the glass panels meet. The impact forcibly opens a narrow gap barely half a palm wide. I immediately raise my gun to shoot. The bullets hit the area near Dimitri's feet, but they fail to stop whatever switch he activated. I aim my gun at him. Familiar energy emanates from the darkness behind Dimitri. As he stands up, my instincts scream at the new threat. I open fire. The bullets hit him, but he seems unfazed as he pulls out a weapon and aims it at me. The powerful blast sends me flying and crushes what little chance of survival I had been desperately clinging to. The music is stunning. Oh my god, where's Caleb? This is a situation where Caleb would have been so freaking helpful because he was aware of at least like the research element because he was also a research subject. Holy shit. Okay, cosmic convergence. Chaos, agony, and freezing cold. My body feels like it's being crushed. I must have blacked out for a bit. Fighting through the pain wrecking my body and the taste of blood, I force myself to get up inside the glass sphere. On one knee, I struggle to catch my breath. Below me lies a metallic floor made from an unknown material, and above me looms an inverted glass chamber. The familiar sight triggers a flood of memories. This is the Deep Space collision chamber. I was imprisoned here before.
Stop struggling, child.
The voice pierces the thick glass. The collision chamber has already been activated. It's now floating 6 feet off the ground. Dimitri stands below, and the control in his hand is stained with blood.
I already obtained the current data on your eval while you were in the battle.
He raises a chip in his hand.
Once I insert this into the chip reader, the equipment can use its antimatter capabilities to completely neutralize your energy.
So he just wants to kill me now, after everything. Although there's a gentle smile on his face, the hate in his gaze twists it into something grotesque. Disgusted, I turn away and try to concentrate on resonating with the collision chamber's energy source. I can't resonate with it. How is that even possible?
Go. Return to where you came from. You never had a place in this world.
Okay, so this is very much Josephine and Dimitri had two very different ways of handling the NC situation. Josephine wanted to redeem her and actually give her a chance to live like a normal human being, and Dimitri wants to erase the mistakes of the past.
Humans who foolishly try to control a power as great as yours will only bring disaster upon themselves.
And that's your own freaking fault.
The Chronal Rift catastrophe and the Wanderers. It was all because of our greed. We should have never created you.
Oh my god, this music is stunning. It's really giving me Automata vibes.
With the hands that stained this world in sin, I'll put an end to it.
Oh my god, what the hell? How are we going to get out of this? I stand up, while using the glass wall as support. Yet vertigo hits me. Air is being drained out of the chamber. The pressure suddenly drops and the air in my body rapidly expands. At this rate, my lungs might rupture before anything else kills me. But she can't die! Is that why he wants to use an antimatter weapon so there's nothing for her to regenerate into? I hate to admit it, but I feel like I'm getting a sense of deja vu. My body recognizes this feeling before my mind does. Muscle memory is sending me a warning. It won't be long until I lose control of my limbs. I won't be able to feel anything. And my strength, even my thoughts, will slow down and fade into oblivion. That was who I used to be. I won't sit here and wait to die. My thoughts are sluggish as I watch myself in slow motion. I draw my weapon, struggling to raise my arms. I pull the trigger and cause an explosion. But the energy burst from my weapon is absorbed by the active collision chamber. It can convert energy into fuel for its power source. My vision blurs. Not only is my strength being drained, but my body is also becoming numb. The glass chamber reflects the cold laboratory lights. They sketch out fragmented memories. It's the same collision chamber that I was violently thrown into as a child.
Those monsters and that cosmic void in the sky, it's all because of you! You are this world's calamity. We should have destroyed you years ago.
I've experienced this before. It was him at that time too. The contorted face of the young man begins to merge with Dimitri's weary, wrinkled face below. Then I lose my sense of direction.
Since that day, I've been the only one who is determined to destroy you. I failed before, but time proved to me that I was on the right side of history. I will finish what I started and atone for my past failure.
By killing this lunatic.
Be gone! Go back to where you came from! Just die already!
I refuse to let this maniac kill me. A powerful resonance resounds and builds within the chamber. Wait, pause. Is this going to be how she utilizes the spatium core to get out? A powerful resonance resounds and builds within the chamber. It syncs with the tremors deep within my heart. I desperately try to maintain control. I'm attempting to seal the weak spots the echoes create, but I'm fighting a losing battle. The resonance's energy hums and shatters invisible chains. My consciousness breaks free from its physical cage, and my soul rapidly surges forth. My consciousness disperses with the energy burst. Countless reverberations echo across this planet. And from deep space, a mysterious connection descends. My awareness gradually fades as my body feels weightless. The ethereal eye appears once more. It devours me completely this time. Who is the Watcher? Because... what am I? In boundless darkness, I drift through the cosmos. It's like I'm part of it. An ether core. I am the cosmos. I see a planet on the brink of destruction, and the different paths it could take. Some explode like tiny fireworks before their life could begin. Others are further along in their journey. However, all of them perish. And at the end of their lives, each planet collapses inward. A tiny core takes its place. The one born from destruction, the Origo core. Like the origin? It silently floats in space, as energy stirs from its slumber. Cosmic strings resonate with it. Space-time twists and stretches. Everything and nothing has changed. The Origo core descends upon a planet nearing collapse. There's a black hole there, hold on. It's waiting for the end. And its own birth. Wow. I literally just a few days ago was talking about how MC's magic, quite literally earlier on in this entire playthrough, was talking about how MC's magic resonates with every single fiber of the universe in every different, in different spheres, from physical to metaphysical to emotional to any kind of energy she is able to resonate with. So her being the center of the cosmos and cosmic energy in itself, that makes sense. But it's also like, one, it's crazy validating, two, I strongly believe that this is meant to be the final timeline. And regardless of other timelines sitting within the future, this is meant to be the final timeline. In the sense that this is the conjunction of all of the timelines. All of the other timelines converge upon our current reality. And this is the one where MC decides the fate of the universe. But that said, if there are multiple spheres of existence, I have a hard time believing that Ever is truly the final enemy. All the sensation in my body disappears as the scene before me gradually fades into darkness. Suddenly, I hear a strong heartbeat and feel a warm power flow through me. It's a fragment from another place and time, yet it brings a familiar presence. Everything that was lost has returned to me. Everything? At first, they are just blurry images reminiscent of scattered flickering stars in my mind. Oh my god, if she starts remembering. But as time passes, these images start to become cleared. They slowly come together and form vivid, tangible scenes. Complete with sounds, textures, temperatures, and even the faintest presence. They're real and full of life. Unfamiliar fragments connect into a single unbroken thread. Those past experiences, emotions, choices, and missions, once again, they cross the barriers of time and space, carefully weaving themselves into the fabric of my existence. They become a part of me. Holy crap. Cosmic I literally said this was the convergence of the time. Oh my god, I feel so valid. Literally, my friends have listened to me yap, not only about how the different allies sit within the lore, but how MC sits within the lore, and then how it tunes to also how Zane sits within the lore. Oh my god. Okay, dust of memories. Memories! Memories! Oh my god, this could mean so much. Silas! Oh, thank god, Silas. I suddenly break through the downpour of memories. My vision refocuses. The familiar black red mist envelops the area. I'm shielded from the falling rocks and steel beams. Did she cause this destruction? Meeting my stunned gaze, Silas relaxes his furrowed brow. An amused smile appears on his face.
Nice explosion, little bomb.
God, Silas, your voice is so freaking peak. Silas!
This place is collapsing. Give me your hand.
Hold his hand. The hand reaching out to me now overlaps with the memory of the same hand breaking through the barrier many years ago. Breaking through the barrier many years ago? Fragmented memories flood my mind, but there's no time to dwell on them. I force my aching arm to move and grab his hand. Silas yanks me out of the wreckage in one fluid motion. He secures his grip on my arm as he crouches.
Keep your eyes open this time, kitten. Watch how we escape and remember it well.
Pause. So when he's talking about memories, is he not only talking about Abyss and Sovereign, but actually, like, earlier on in her youth, him helping her? Overwhelming power lifts him up, manifests behind him like a fiend, and crushes all obstacles in the way. Its wings...
So my mic kind of died during this moment, but I was basically saying, I knew it, I'm so happy. Insert more tearful moments because I was just so happy for Silas MC.
This is so good! And it worked so well because he found her in his anecdote. Oh, this all is coming together, and that's why he came to the N109 zone, because that's where she was. And then the research unit got destroyed. Oh my god, everything is coming together, and I'm so happy. This is so validating. Two, I'm so happy for Silas. Oh my god, I'm sorry. Oh, sorry, I didn't even read that properly. Overwhelming power lifts him up. It manifests behind him like a fiend that crushes all obstacles in its way. Its wings have blocked out the heavens. Oh, we saw past the crumbling debris and fly away from the depths. Thunderous explosions echo below. Standing at the edge of the arena, I finally see the full extent of destruction caused by my uncontrolled energy burst. The entire central area has collapsed. Only a bottomless pit remains, its edges crumbling away. Sorry, I really am having a really hard time talking. And even breathing right now, because it's like... Like, I love this game so deeply, and the lore means so much to me, as well as, like, the characterization, narrative, lore, just all of those elements, and then all of them coming together. A lot of what's happening is so incredibly exciting. Other parts of it is so freaking validating, because it means thought processes that I had and whatnot weren't, like, off base, and it's a really beautiful thing to, you know, be on track. But also some elements of how this comes together is actually very surprising, and also way more soon than I thought they were going to touch on any of this. So what they must have planned in future is going to be immense. And this is only the second chapter. I leave Silas's side as that strange, detached sensation gradually fades. Dimitri, bound by tendrils of black-red mist, is thrown down before us.
Our deal is complete. Now surrender your soul.
Monster!
There are two of us here. Who are you referring to?
His unfocused gaze can no longer locate his enemy as he desperately claws at the mist coiling around his neck.
The terms of our deal haven't been fulfilled.
I only agreed to bring her before you. Foolishness and arrogance aren't valid reasons to breach our contract.
Silas violently grabs Dimitri by the collar. The mist swiftly coils around the former researcher's neck. Again, the demonic allegories with Silas.
You underestimated how much she's grown. Look at you. Thinking she's still the little girl whose life you held carelessly in your hands. Like every gambler who overestimates themselves, you are not as clever as you think you are.
Oh, Silas's voice actor is range right now.
I know who's behind the antimatter. Let me go.
With a contemptuous laugh, Silas forcefully turns Dimitri's head to face me.
Get a nice long look. It'll be your last. And do your best to remember the person who brought about your downfall.
Silas being wrath and vengeance incarnate is so incredibly sexy because I genuinely... his selfishness is actually so appealing and refreshing to me.
Die with a smile for us. All right?
I love him. I love him so bad. Like, I actually love him so bad. That was... Hold on. He's not going back on his base. I actually love him so bad. It makes me sick. I really want to save that line. Hold on. Let me save that line because that was really freaking... As Dimitri screams and body are swallowed by black-red mist, I turn my gaze to the center of the arena. One after another, muffled explosions resound underground. This place will be gone after today. It won't reappear anytime soon. The laboratory that was never meant to exist might hold few childhood memories. I might have cried in some corner or laughed in front of a platform. Perhaps I made those researchers who saw me as an otherworldly specimen believe I was just a normal child for a moment, or Josephine believed you were. Or maybe none of that ever happened. But it doesn't matter anymore.
How much do you remember?
A lot. But it's all jumbled up. I ignore whatever happened to Dimitri and look at Silas. That deal you made with him. Was it when I escaped from the research center?
Yeah.
Did you bring me here so I could remember everything? He doesn't look at me. Instead, he speaks as if he's addressing the darkness beneath his feet.
You would have done this sooner or later. That's just who you are.
Then shouldn't you be worried about my power destroying you and this world?
Should I be?
I stare at his profile to emphasize my point. Right now, I can't control my power when it fully manifests. Assuming it happens again, everything here might be destroyed like my soul. With a slight smile, Silas shakes his head. He raises his hand to draw my attention to something. A familiar linkage materializes between our wrists to bind us together.
Sorry, but your soul doesn't have the privilege of leaving whenever it wants.
10.5 grams of a soul.
I will keep you bound to me for all of eternity. Our connection transcends this place and this world.
That was a declaration and a romantic one at that. Jesus Christ. What I was also going to say though, what I really am appreciating with the integration of this, I love that this wasn't a branch quest. I love that you are forced to get to know these other love interests. And I'm so excited for Xavier and Raphael to be given that due, especially because frankly I get really irritated when I see so much mischaracterization of all these guys across the board and like this and the oversimplification of their character traits to make them one thing or another, whether it's a positive or negative thing. It's always in these ways that are so reductive to their characters when they are so extremely layered and complex. Silas has really shown how multifaceted he is throughout this entire experience. And especially, I think the thing that's so crucial and important is, though the romance does play a very core aspect to this game, the thing that makes the romance work in any of these dynamics in the first place is the partnership. It's the relationship, it's the care, it's the consideration, it's the trust that builds between these different men with MC, and that's a beautiful freaking thing. And I genuinely think it's so beautiful to have a female main character in the center of something like this, because how often do you actually get a story like this where she's respected and there's so many different dynamics, there's so much weight and complexity. I'm so grateful for this game right now in this moment, and I'm so grateful for Silas for not only retaining the sense of his own character, but also for his patience, because it took so much for him to actually get here.
So, are you done looking around?
I guess there's nothing else to see. Silas nods and turns to leave. As his arm moves, the linkage forces our steps to be in perfect sync.
We're done here. Let's go home.
That was so cute. But in the vast cosmos, my power has no starting point or destination. It appeared when the universe was created. It's a fundamental law etched into the fabric of existence. At some point, a force weak yet unbreakable began to bind me, and with it came an endless fall. But also came the fragmentation and fracture of reality in the universe itself. That's the main thing. That's the main thing for me. Like, the cause of the fracture. What happened to lead to that? If she is an undeniable reality and truth amongst the universe, what caused such a fracture to take place? In a majestic arena floating among nebulae, a boy and a girl stand. Soaked in blood, they're greeted by thunderous cheers. When it comes to killing wanderers, Silas and I always have perfect coordination. Is this Abyssum Sovereign?
You're not going to team up with me this time?
Younger Silas? I hate teammates who try to steal my points.
Then, what do you hate more? Teammates who steal your points? Or teammates who can't keep up with you?
You're so annoying. If you steal my points again, I'm throwing you into Tartarus. They've been using so much ancient Greek mythology here. Tartarus, referenced once more. Oh, I love it. I love Tomorrow's Catch-22 coming back into the freaking picture. I will never, ever listen to Tomorrow's Catch-22 slander. Tartarus was Silas's alias in Tomorrow's Catch-22. It's essentially a realm in hell, like the underworld itself. Once again, that's that relaying of Greek mythology when it comes to just the game itself, and especially with Silas, but also Silas's relationship with the Chthonic. I'm curious if she's saying this threat, if this is a specific world state, or if this is in a cosmic conversation.
Okay.
Give me your hand. We're a team now.
Yeah.
The disconnected scenes flash by in a random order. Sometimes they're blurry and hazy, other times they're crystal clear. As time marches on, the deep space tunnel, vast and capable of tearing apart any form of energy, separates us. I just want to also say, I have been literally saying to people, anyone who would freaking listen to me, that I don't think Abyssum Sovereign is Silas's first life with MC. I strongly do not believe it, because also, I didn't think it made sense for her desire for what's in his eye to be so apparent, yet if other people, like, why was she able to have such a desire for his eye, but other people around her weren't able to have that same desire when he was already incapacitated? So to me, it just reads, there is something that existed beforehand that evoked such a parallel between the two of them in terms of, like, her ether core in her heart and his ether core in his eye. The memories dissolve into my current reality. Images overlap. I recognize the figure before me, and now he's tall and imposing. He descends with his fierce pride. Below the sky, he materializes before me. In the destroyed laboratory, He silently stares at the collision chamber before smashing through its barrier with his fist. He broke her out of the prison. Oh, Silas. He said when he found her. But I'm so confused because Silas came 2 years after the Chrono Rift catastrophe, if I remember correctly. And I thought Lumiere was the first person to see MC. Oh god. Part 5. Walls fall before us. We're back at his base. In the timeless N109 zone, I fall into a deep, dreamless slumber. When I finally open my eyes again, it takes me a while to reorient myself. I stare at the intricate patterns on the ceiling for a long time, before a single fact slowly dawns on me. I'm alive. As if a switch has been flipped, I finally become aware of my surroundings. Outside, the distant roar of gunfire and artillery resound while music plays nearby. Didn't the Zoyan hunt end? Mephisto. Mephi? What are you? I sit up and look around. Mephisto is perched on the bedside table.
He bobs his head under Silas's finger like a chick pecking at grain.
Why are you here?
Shouldn't you be asking that to the person who carelessly fell asleep?
Oh. I raise my hand but don't see the familiar linkage. Massaging my temples, I realize my distant memories have started to blur with reality. How long was I out? Don't tell me it's been 4 or 5 days.
You would have starved to death in that case.
Silas is lounging in a small armchair next to the bed. He's looking out the window. Several gemstones, 3 wine glasses, and a marker are scattered across the nearby side cabinet, small table and floor.
It's morning. And more importantly, it's been 3 days since the Zoyan hunt ended. Overtime is almost over.
A terrifying explosion resounds in the distance. Seconds later, the windows rattle from the shockwave. The arena is in ruins. Why would anyone still fight to be its owner?
For certain people, that place still has important stuff.
Yeah, because
And with...
Sorry, Silas, to interrupt you. Yeah, because there was literally something on Backtrackers and also something on Lumerians, as well as the other sphere of ascended beings that, what research could have been hidden in that? That is what makes me so freaking curious.
Dimitri out of the way, their battle will be more ruthless.
Silas's gaze is still focused on what's happening outside, his hair swaying because of the shockwaves. He maintains an aloof attitude. Curious about what he's looking at, I get out of bed and approach the window, but I can't even make it there before settling into the small armchair. I nudge Silas so he can make room. What's going on? My whole body feels weak. It's like I've been thrown into space and had to orbit Earth a few times. You didn't hit me while I was asleep, right?
Between the two of us, you'd be the one to do that.
That's so valid. Did I hit you while sleeping? Silas holds up 2 fingers and glances at my right hand.
Twice.
Silas, I'm so sorry. I had no idea. I was dreaming the entire time. Maybe I got too excited. Silas finally turns to face me. He gently takes my wrist and gives it a light shake.
Are you well rested now?
More or less.
Let's go then.
Mephisto takes his chance to sneak away, snatch an empty wine glass, and fly out the window. Silas stands and stretches before picking me up.
Time to eat.
What a good host. It isn't until Silas makes me sit at the dining table that I realize just how hungry I am. I devour everything in sight until I'm stuffed. Strength gradually returns to my weary limbs. I start to feel clear-headed. I slowly finish the last of my juice. Then I carefully nudge Silas's leg under the table to let him know I have a question.
I see you're disregarding table manners, kitten.
It was worse during our first meal together. Isn't it a little late to start worrying about etiquette? Something cries out near the window. Mephisto, who had been absent during the meal, taps on the glass and squeezes through the gap. He drops a dark-colored object into my hands. What is this? A flash drive?
A biometric key from the Gaia Research Center.
I tighten my grip on it. Then what are those people really fighting over? Silas pauses as he holds his drink. It's as if he's unsure about how to respond.
We'll talk when you're more sober.
You're also one of the contestants doing overtime. When did you...
Luke and Kieran are more than capable of dealing with those fools.
Slay. The key shows signs of age, and someone has scratched off its identification number. It's impossible to tell which researcher served as its original owner. Possessing the key means having authority over the abandoned Gaia Research Center, even though it's nothing but ruins now. A wisp of black-red mist creeps up the back of my hand, forces its way between my fingers and tries to take the key away. Silas?
That's my trophy. Give it back.
Mephisto gave it to me. You're just letting me look at it. Silas stretches his long legs to push his chair. He leans back against it and uses his index finger to guide the mist. It's still pulling on the key. Dismissing the idea of letting go, I clutch the key with both hands and lunge toward him like a sparrow drawn to a grain of rice.
Your theft techniques are getting sloppier by the day. Are you going to headbutt me to death before you loot my body?
I could kiss you to bed.
Sit.
Silas has me rest against him, and when he sees me still holding the key with both hands, he laughs.
You're a persistent thief.
Since you've already shown it to me, I can borrow it at some point, right? You're very generous.
You had a nice meal and are on your way to a full recovery. Yet the first thing you do is come up with a plan to steal my stuff.
Don't you think I have, like, more dues for it? I'm not doing that. He's not insisting on taking the key back, so I secretly breathe a sigh of relief and change the subject. I've decided to talk about my more recent dreams. I wanted to ask you something ever since I woke up, but you keep steering the conversation in another direction. I saw us fighting wanderers in some kind of interstellar arena. You know anything about that? Oh my god, is that going to be Silas's next myth?
What else did you see?
My gaze drifts from my hands. Are we finally going to get Space Pirate / Space version Silas? Like younger actual Silas. Because Silas's evil allows him to regenerate. That's why he can't age normally. With that in mind, he's very, very old. I don't think he's Xavier old. I think Xavier is still the oldest love interest, but I do think Silas is the second oldest love interest. If we're talking about in terms of like one person's like actual age and like one specific incarnation entity thing. So if that is a past version of this version of Silas, my gaze drifts from my hands to his shoulder and then to the light, reflected from the wine dancing on the wall. I continue in a softer voice. We fought countless wanderers and monsters that looked like modified humans. The wanderer virus. Then we were the only ones left in the arena. The crowd went wild and screamed for us to fight each other to the death. It doesn't matter where you are in the cosmos. Okay? Every gladiatorial arena created by intelligent life abides by the same rule. There can only be one victor, so...
Either I kill you, or you kill me.
Which ties to their Abyssum Sovereign myth. I sit up straight and touch the corner of his eye. I'm searching for that hidden colour in his right eye. But when we faced each other, you didn't attack. Instead, you took my hand and asked if I wanted to escape together. That nebula was more chaotic than an abyss. I didn't see how it ended. We managed to escape. She's actually accepting that this is a reality. She's actually accepting past lives. Well, she had to. Sorry, because she had to now. She's had to confront the reality of her existence.
Think.
But then what happened to her? If they made it... He brings his empty wine glass closer and presses its cool surface against my forehead.
If we hadn't, then who exactly are you looking at right now?
We're pretty special, huh?
Speaking of which, you never doubted yourself, or worried about my capabilities for that matter.
Then you went through hell and back, barely escaped with your life, and arrived in the N109 zone before it fell?
More or less. Have you ever considered that me landing in the N109 zone wasn't a coincidence?
That's what I've been saying! It's because of the Gaia Research Center. Silas remains nonchalant. I found some documents in the corridor of the old facility. The Unicorn Research Team, or rather the Gaia Research Center as a whole, was attempting to establish contact with Deepspace. The Unicorn researchers wanted to recreate a powerful cosmic energy source, which exists within me as an ether core.
Do you believe what Dimitri said?
Not all of it, but I don't have a testimony from anyone else who knows more than him. Yeah, because I think he only has one version of events. I think there are multiple other factions and things at play here. Strip away the outlandish claims, and his message is actually quite simple. I possess destructive power. A power that can create. Trying to keep my thoughts from dwelling on Dimitri's fanatical declarations, I turned Silas's glass in my hands. Something weird happened in the collision chamber. I was about to lose consciousness. This planet, the starry sea above us, and the depths of deep space that are invisible to the naked eye, they all seem to have some kind of force that resonates with me. Were those things ether cores or something else? Now when I think about the deep space tunnel in the sky, I feel like I've gained an understanding that goes beyond what's currently known about it. It's not the source of all disasters. It's a bridge connecting us to civilizations more superior than humanity's. Maybe Dimitri wasn't lying. It's possible I have the power to destroy everything. My thoughts travel through the darkness in the collision chamber and how I sank into an overwhelming strength. It's strong enough to erase an entire planet. What lies dormant inside me is powerful and uncontrollable. Suddenly a hand grasps my chin. My gaze lands on Silas's disinterested expression.
When I pulled you out of the giant glass tank, you looked like you were in so much pain that you wanted to die.
I really wish the text box was lower and not covering his face.
If it really hurts, then stop. Don't force yourself.
See, I love Silas responding like this because it really shows his prioritization and like the comfort he wants to give her. But I also, like, frankly, because of what was mentioned previously, and I've said, like, during this entire playthrough and stuff, he is more of a selfish character. He is only going to prioritize her and her own feelings. He doesn't really care about what's happening to the rest of the world to the same degree. He's not innately just cruel for the sake of it. He's generally cruel to people who deserve it. Otherwise, he's a bit more nonchalant. But he is still a kind man underneath everything. He can't be oversimplified, and yes, there is grey morality required to understand him a bit more, but he's not like this completely dark, evil figure. That said, MC's aims do extend beyond just herself, and so I think that's really like where elements of the other love interests and their importance is going to really come in. But I think it's so important that there is a figure like this in this game, that there is an option and a love interest like this in this game. One, not only just for those tropes and the appeal of his character, but also because there's a balance required. There's a lot of selfishness in different ways across the different characters, but Silas is definitely one of the most selfish in terms of MC. And it's actually not a bad thing at all. It's actually quite beautiful.
And don't ever make that face again while you're at it.
You just don't want to see her hurt. I look directly into his right eye. The mesmerizing ether core within it remains tranquil. My racing thoughts slowly calm down. You can always pull me back, right? Just like before. Whoosh. Are you mad? I didn't do anything. As I look up at him expectantly, Silas stays silent for a moment. Then he appears interested. Grabbing my hand, he leads me outside.
No, but you slept for too long. I'm bored.
He's so cute. So where are you dragging me off to? Do you want to have some fun?
I'll help you get used to wielding devastating power. That way you'll be a bomb who doesn't always think about self-destruction.
She needs this. She needs someone who's going to help her wield her power, and also understands what it means to be a destructive entity. Hmm? We enter a familiar dimly lit room. Silas helps me into the egg-shaped gaming pod. He puts a hologram helmet over my head. As the pod slowly closes, my body tenses. Silas taps on the glass. Although I can't hear anything outside, I read his lips. Now come, conquer everything in your path, starting with me.
This will be easy. I'll treat it as a... Are you prepared to keep up?
Take this!
It's time to serve the main course.
There's plenty to go around. Go back to the pit you came from. You were sloppy.
My eyes were locked on you.
Take this!
It's time to serve the main course.
There's plenty to go around.
You're too close. I like a difficult fight.
Take this!
It's time to serve the main course.
There's plenty to go around. I'm getting the hang of this. I'll show you. Take this!
It's time to serve the main course.
There's plenty to go around.
If you keep hiding, your enemies won't see you. It's time to get rid of some nuisances.
Take this!
It's time to serve the main course. It's your time to shine. It's time for an energy storm.
Level everything to the ground. Well done, partner.
I wish they let me use. Now, interestingly, the next story segment is called When Snow Falls, and I know. I'm not saying every single time that snow is mentioned it's about Zane, but my brain is going to Zane. And it's also going to that boy that was there earlier related to the Fractal Library, which is once again related to Zane, so you know where my brain is. But we were just in a Silas context, so... After matching wits with Silas for 47 rounds, my heavy eyelids forced me to be the one to call it quits first. I slept so deeply, but when I woke up, I found myself in my own bed. I'd been moved there and didn't even stir once. Was I really that exhausted? Or do I trust him too much? I massaged my throbbing temples as I recall the information I received during our break last night. Silas's curiosity was piqued by these mysterious antimatter weapons, and he decided to investigate their origin. Luke and Kieran were equally thrilled. They rubbed their hands together as if to say, "We finally have something fun to do." Given the usual efficacy of Onakindness's leader, a mysterious hunter will soon cross paths with an odd little group consisting of a boss man, 2 troublemakers, and their crow. As for the key found in the ruins of the Gaia Research Center, will it unlock the secrets of a hidden past, or take me down another path that leads into an unknowable future? Either way, is what I have to investigate next. I look around the room to find every curtain has been drawn shut with great precision. Not even the smallest sliver of light can get in. My place got turned into a cave, basically. And only he'd do that. Wait, Xavier! Canonically, Xavier, if he was home, would have seen, potentially, Silas dropping MC off like that. Xavier and Silas have to be aware of each other. And, like, I refuse to believe that Nest 3 do not have some decent awareness of each other. And by Nest 3, I mean Silas, Xavier, and Raphael. The 3 of them, obviously, are involved in the Nest. I can't speak for the 6th love interest. We don't even know who he is. And I know some people are like, oh, he's that guy that Raphael was talking to at the end. No, that wasn't ever representative. We don't know. I don't really want some other dude to be 6th love interest. I'll be real with you. I walk to the window. As soon as I pull back the curtains, blinding light floods my vision. This reminds me of Zane literally changing weather conditions across, like, multiple instances. As far as the eye can see, a cold radiance has engulfed the city. A blanket of snow covers every building, but is it even winter? It's snowing in Lincoln? 1 week later. For a while, I've been investigating my past and uncovering other secrets. And now this ever-changing, precarious world seems to face an unprecedented crisis. Protofield disturbances, climate anomalies. Some say Earth's climate system has broken down, and a disaster comparable to the Chrono Rift catastrophe is imminent. Others claim Earth is on the verge of collapse. All tectonic plates will shatter, and thus human civilization will end. Yet among all these discussions about the end of the world, Earth's collapse and civilization's downfall, what actually descends upon Lincoln is a silent snowfall that transforms the city into a pure white expanse overnight. That's not necessarily a good thing, because Zane caused a snowstorm after he almost killed MC when he was 12 years old. If you want more details on that, there's a whole freaking thread I wrote explaining it in the easiest way I could possible. A full breakdown will be in my future Zane character analysis. But that's not, I don't necessarily see that change in weather condition, especially when it's not expected in Lincoln to be like a cute, serene moment as much. Backtrack as Lemuria. Everything is starting to make sense now. But what about the life on a higher plane of existence? The emissary of the divine?
Long time no see. Back from your leave already? Captain Jenna said you had some personal matters to take care of. Is everything okay?
For my administrative leave, only Jenna knew about my visit to the ruins of the Gaia Research Center in the N109 zone. After hesitating for a moment, I shake my head and smoothly change the subject. I'm fine. You could say I went back home. By the way, have you ever heard the term emissary of the divine before? It's supposedly connected to civilizations on a higher plane of existence. Of course she's going to say that to Tara, who's like into divination and stuff like that. Also, I don't know if anyone has played Horizon Zero Dawn, but there's certain aspect of Horizon Zero Dawn and Aloy that are like kind of speaking to me here, obviously, as well as like Nier Automata and stuff. As well as Final Fantasy XIV. I'm sorry, the conjunction of spheres, the conjunction of timelines, alternate realities, alternate timelines, alternate universes, like... Okay. Among all the rampant doomsday theories, the concept of being watched by civilizations with higher dimensional beings is actually the easiest to understand.
It can mean a messenger who can communicate with godlike entities.
Even if they do exist, finding someone like that would be harder than finding aliens.
The sound of typing behind me suddenly stops. When I raise my head, I see Nero has come over to join the discussion. That's so funny.
And if those higher dimensional life forms aren't saying anything, well, even an emissary might not know they're one.
This is why it's so important to have watched Thorns Under the Moon if you have not seen Thorns Under the Moon, because literally Astra makes a cameo in Thorns Under the Moon. Who is Astra? A celestial god. Who is he talking to? Zane, a demigod, a celestial immortal. But also, again, what I was trying to get as Nero talking about aliens is hilarious, considering he's a Lumiere fanboy. Lumiere, Xavier, alien.
I've also heard that the next mass extinction might be just around the corner.
Okay, chill. Nero silently rubs the area between his eyebrows. He's unconvinced.
Isn't that just propaganda spread by prototists to push for the development of protocore technology?
Not necessarily. In this vast, endless universe, who knows how many civilizations are locked in battle?
Which is literally something that was explored during Other Myths.
Our Earth might be the only surviving blue dot among them all.
Amidst the ongoing discussion, my thoughts begin to wander. Maybe Eva thinks our civilization is already approaching the limits of biological evolution. Pursuing the transcendence of evolution to counter this supposed crisis, that must be their true objective.
As a side note, there were strange omens before the 2034 Chrono Rift catastrophe. A polar night was present for 3 consecutive days.
A polar night before the Chrono Rift catastrophe. Oh my god, I'm gonna have to sit down and make a freaking proper diagram of how everything comes together, aren't I? That's literally what's gonna end up happening. Jesus Christ. Okay. Also, I'm so excited now. I was already excited to see how like Xavier and Raphael would fit into things, but now after this revelation, after all these revelations, after everything that happened in the Gaia research lab, oh, Xavier and Raphael are about to have such a freaking cool moment. I'm so excited. Okay. While conversing, everyone unconsciously turns to look at the heavy snow outside. It falls as if descending from the cosmos itself.
Regardless of whether Earth falls apart or the world ends, as long as the subway runs and wanderers exist, we need to fulfill our duties as hunters and protect this city.
Absolutely. Okay, when we are together. It's 5 p.m. and a lecture titled Life's Boundaries is underway in Lincoln University's largest lecture hall. Aside from the medical students from other departments have taken a seat to listen. Oh my god, is Zane hosting a lecture? Because he is also a lecturer. In the packed lecture hall, the speaker stands. His back faces a projection of a beating heart model, and his authoritative voice is steady. Is he already?
Life itself is not endless.
I love him so much. I love him so much. He appears on screen and I just...
Life and death, health and illness. These seemingly opposing concepts maintain the balance of life itself.
An inquisitive student raises her hand.
But with today's medical technology, we can potentially do gene editing, cellular regeneration, and even human modification. If immortality becomes achievable, why should we still accept death as the end of life?
If we set aside morals and ethics, these technologies could make immortality possible. But this also means that our goal in the medical field has shifted from conquering disease to conquering death itself.
Zane's gaze sweeps across every face in the room, his tone remaining calm as usual.
To conquer disease is to extend life, but to conquer death is to control it. Can we still call ourselves humans after being modified and losing human characteristics? How do we even define human existence?
Oh, I love it when he philosophizes. Hushed discussions fill the lecture hall. Zane looks toward the back as someone quietly opens a door. A familiar figure appears. She quickly slips into the back row, her coat leaving a trail of melted snow on the floor. He quickly shifts his gaze and continues with his previous point.
Life can be extended, but the cycle of life and death should not be controlled.
After the lecture ends, Zane is completely surrounded by eager students. I sit in the back row and wait as students file out behind me.
Did you see the news? How could they accuse Dr. Zane of disregarding human life and abandoning his patients? They're saying he has no ethics.
It all started when some government official's kid got diagnosed with protocore syndrome. They tried to use their family connections to pressure Dr. Zane into prioritizing their surgery.
Zane would never do that.
But he refused and went to treat another patient who needed more urgent treatment.
Oh, so that's why they're spreading all those nasty rumors about Dr. Zane online. What a piece of work.
I'm gonna fight. I'm gonna fight. Because the audacity, I'm sorry, to be speaking about my man like that, my husband, the love of my life, absolutely not. As the students' conversation fades into the distance, I stop eavesdropping and nod in quiet agreement. Watching a few reporters approaching the lecture hall, I catch Zane's eye and wave. I silently mouth a sentence. Come here, Dr. Zane. Zane glances in my direction, nods, and makes his way through the crowd of students.
That will be all for today. Someone is waiting for me.
We haven't seen him since Skyhaven in this, main story. After helping Zane dodge the reporters, we leave the university and stroll through the snow-covered street bathed in evening's golden light. You're good at making complex topics clear and accessible, Dr. Zane. If I were a few years younger, I'd sneak into your lectures every day.
Really? What was the second key point from the third section?
Faced with Zane's knowing smile, I sigh and turn to walk in the opposite direction.
Where are you going?
I need to find a time machine so I can hear your brilliant lecture from start to finish. 3, 2, before I can finish my silent countdown. He grabs my hand.
Come back. I only saw you arrive near the end of the lecture. The time machine must have not been invented yet.
Pulled out. Coffee in hand, I sit down on a roadside bench as Zane hands me a weathered envelope.
Here's the information you requested.
The wax seal on the envelope is still intact. The documents themselves have small creases. Exchanging documents while sitting on a bench. We're like those secret agents trying to save the world in those 008 movies. I think that's a reference to James Bond and 007.
Given what you've asked me to investigate, it is certainly a secret that concerns the fate of the world.
I vaguely remember Zane mentioning Dr. Noah's Arctic expedition research, which might be connected. The cryptic patterns etched into the key seem to point toward the traces of a primordial civilization.
14 years ago, a research team ventured into the Arctic to study life's boundaries. They made an unexpected discovery in an ice cave. According to the surviving documents, the pictographs they recorded in the ice cave bear a striking resemblance to the patterns on the biometric key. Some members of the expedition team mysteriously disappeared. Others joined the Unicorn research team. Dr. Noah has a photocopy of the expedition journal. It's incomplete, but he hopes it can help you.
I'm gonna see Noah again. Signals from deep space, the ether core, the key. The clues form an intricate web in the darkness. It stretches across the boundaries of time and space. Almost unnoticeable, each strand is being woven into place. They're waiting for that singular moment when everything is taut. Please thank Dr. Noah for me. How is he doing? What about Pi and the others?
He and the animals are doing well. You remembered to ask about the animals, but have you forgotten something?
Yeah, ask about Zane. Huh? It dawns on me. Do you need special attention too? What? Why are we playing with Zane in the main? Why are we doing this right now? Calm down, calm down. Why are we flirting with Zane in the main quest? Like, I'm not
Do
bad at
I
it.
look invincible to you?
Thinking about how rare our meetings and calls have been lately, I feel a twinge of guilt. So how has Zane been lately? Have you been sleeping well? Do you still have nightmares?
I'm doing well.
I love how they do keep mentioning Thorns Under the Moon, because it really does canonize it. Like, we know that technically all of the branch quests are canon. It's just the intimate lens from which we view it as when you play it is, like, dependent on your own subjective love interest experience. Like, her specifically going to Chantry City was further canonized later on down the road. So, like, again, to me, all of them are canon. But I really appreciate, like, the callback to Thorns Under the Moon, especially with how important Nightmares and Dawnbreaker are to Zane. And especially because he's in his Dawnbreaker gear in the trailer for this, so I'm really curious as to how it ties together. For some reason, my words elicit a soft chuckle from Zane.
You've already made time to pick me up after class. And since I'm on my way to work, why don't you walk with me? You can do it as you head back to the Hunters Association.
I want to walk with him. This is beautiful. Traffic is at a standstill during the evening rush hour. Fortunately, Arxo Hospital and the Association are within walking distance, so we decided to continue on foot. This is a very surprised snow, though. Snowflakes dance through the streets as the intersection's traffic lights turn red. The flow of vehicles stops. Pedestrians pause on the sidewalk, their heads tilted upward as they wait. They watch the massive holographic display flicker above the intersection.
Ever has officially launched the Fountain of Ate initiative.
This fricking thing. Zane must have opinions.
In addition, we urge all citizens to stay safe while traveling. If there's an emergency, please seek immediate assistance from the evil police or deep space hunters.
Something happened at Azure Square in Imperial Ring Park. They're saying the Alterum appeared or something.
No wonder the news keeps telling us to be careful lately. Having wanderers around was bad enough. Now we have to deal with the Alterum too.
Alterum?
With one disaster after another in this godforsaken world, maybe it should just end already.
Go, chill. Stop catastrophizing. I can't help but stifle a laugh. As the light turns green, traffic and pedestrians start moving again.
And for our final story, a medical controversy surrounding protocore syndrome has drawn widespread public attention.
Or Dr. Zane. Are doctors healing or killing? And the future of protocol syndrome. These sensational headlines drift past my ears in quick succession. Despite being at the center of this media storm, Zane doesn't even glance at the screen. Unbothered king. The news keeps using that same stone-faced picture of you from Oxo Hospital's website. It's basically decades old at this point.
What? Are you tired of looking at it?
I wouldn't be. I was just thinking, if Dr. Zane had smiled even 1 pixel's worth in that photo, then maybe these rumors wouldn't have gotten far. Zane tilts his head, as if he's playing along. He shows the tiniest hint of a smile. They literally are reading us for how we talk about Zane's smile. But no matter what challenges or criticism you face, nothing seems to shake your decisions or judgment.
What about you? Although you're not saying anything, I can tell something is on your mind. If it's a long story, well, this path might be short, but we can always turn around and walk some more.
Nothing ever escapes his notice, huh? After hesitating for a moment, I tell him about what happened to me in the N109 zone. I love this. She's already confiding in OG3.
Those monsters and that cosmic void in the sky, it's all because of you! You are this world's calamity. We should have destroyed you years ago.
The Gaia Research Center, the Unicorn Laboratory, the Collision Chamber, and the Spatium Core I absorbed into my body. She's telling him everything. I love the fact that she's actually confiding in the love interest, because then it's like, it's not even just, again, about them just being love interest. It's about them as characters and their value to the story as characters and as her partners and like the team that essentially she goes in with to fix the whole situation of what's happening in the world and universe. The man's final moments, filled with resentment and rage, remain vivid in my mind. I'm constantly reminded of one thing. I don't belong in the world that I thought I knew so well.
So what you're saying is that they almost put you down in the N109 zone.
You didn't have to phrase it like that. You wanted to dispose of me like I was some kind of medical waste. Zane, how are you not... How is he smiling right now? Zane's lips curve into a slight smile as he tucks my cold fingers into his coat pocket. Can't just be suave. You need to be a bit more like, oh my god, I'm glad you're okay. Like, also, she would have had to mention Silas, and Silas literally saving her. I'm walking down this path now. It's strangely surreal.
Are you more lost now? Or more certain?
I'm more certain. At least now I know who I am, and why ever want to use me. From now on, I'll have a better idea of what I'm hoping to achieve in my search for the ether core.
Yes, I believe you.
So I wanted to try out the other option that I missed, so here's I'm more lost. Well, my very existence feels too strange. It's almost unreal. But does my existence mean anything in this world if I don't have my power? His hand warms my fingertips and I gently squeeze it.
Any identity is just a role we temporarily play. It doesn't encapsulate the meaning of one's existence. Even without the identity and responsibilities they assign to you, you've been living just fine.
So interestingly, that does confirm that the second dialogue options are generally the more romantic ones in these instances, and God, I loved that so much.
What if I end up destroying the world one day?
Give me a heads up before you do. I'll make sure to use up all my vacation days first.
Zane, this is not the time for dry humor, what the fuck? But literally the most serious love interest, he's being so unserious right now. At the last intersection, our brief walk quickly comes to an end amidst a crowd. After we cross the street, we'll return to our work and face the challenges that life has in store for us. A wave of sadness washes over me because we have to say goodbye already. I force myself to smile. Let's do our best, Zane.
Wait.
Just as I take my hand away from his, he catches it again. Then he pulls me closer. And I'm completely enveloped in his coat. Looking down, I notice he's carrying his laptop bag and a simple, understated gift bag. He takes out a scarf from it. The soft fabric gives off a gentle, warm glow under the streetlight. Today's not even a holiday. Why do you have a gift for me?
I didn't have a good excuse. But after hearing about your rather fascinating origin story...
He slightly leans down and carefully wraps the scarf around my shoulders.
Let's call it a celebration of your arrival in this world.
I also feel... Okay, I'm just like... God, I'm actually so freaking in love with a fictional character. Can I... Let's go. A mix of uncertain emotions... Oh god, I'm actually blushing. A mix of uncertain emotions wells up inside me. They gradually melt away with the warmth of his touch. Do you find time in your busy schedule to knit this scarf, Dr. Zane?
I picked it out. Is it not sincere enough?
I think this is very sincere. He's being so explicitly affectionate. And I was not expecting this from main story Zane. He raises his hand to smooth my disheveled hair. The snowflakes that landed on his forehead slowly melt away.
Whether it's ever or something else, the path you've chosen will be full of challenges. You'll encounter many people with ill intentions. But more importantly, you must be confident about your own choices.
They both face a similar situation because they both are aiming for a better world for everyone, yet there are other factions that are at play in a negative way.
There are certain things that you can never take back.
Could this be Zane alluding to what he did when he was 12 years old when he almost killed MC? I also feel like he must know. His research into the utilization of protocols in the field of cardiology already seems like it's tied to MC, obviously because her ethical's in her heart, etc, etc. But then he switches to evil instead of protocols because he sees essentially that Wanderer virus come to light. I have a whole thread about this, it's linked, I'll link it down below, etc. But what intrigues me is I feel that to a degree, Zane maybe as a child would have been more aware of what was going on with MC's condition for her to survive whatever he'd put her through, and I really hope we learn a bit more about it because it seems such a significant event and his guilt just carries on coming into play, and it is one of his motivating factors alongside the fact that he literally loves her and cared about her so much for 15 years to study so hard. Yeah. In the vast expanse of snow, neither of us takes a step forward. Then my first correct choice for today must have been seeing you.
Thank you for choosing me.
I'm gonna run out of voice lines so quickly at this point. I'm actually gonna run out of voice. Oh my god, I don't want to delete them because they're so good. I will always choose you. I love all of them so deeply. It's just this stupid snowman really has his hooks in me. Almost like the abominations do in the third anecdote. Don't break the chapter. With 10 seconds left on the green light, he waves goodbye, with his back turned before walking into the snowy, dusky blue twilight. I watch his figure disappear into the distance before tightening my grip on the document that sticks out like a sore thumb. Looking around the bustling intersection, I'm surrounded by a constant flood of noise and information. It seems every sound and flash of a screen pushes people towards their next split-second decision. With this key, I might finally unlock the secrets from 14 years ago. They all involve the ether core, or rather, my own secret. I take a deep breath and turn toward the street that will lead me to the association. I think that was a really beautiful chapter, but I'm also like, okay, the integration of these aspects into the narrative is just very crazy. Like, Silas was giving us massive revelations, cosmic undertones, and I feel like now for Zane it might be like delving a bit more into the emissaries, celestial sphere, etc, etc. Okay, cool. Deep night. Oxford Hospital. Heavy snow falls steadily as darkness settles earlier than usual. Standing tall in the heart of the city, Oxo Hospital remains brightly lit as always.
Are doctors healing or killing? Exposing the dark truth behind Oxo Hospital's division of cardiac surgery? What kind of ridiculous headlines are these?
Oh, please. Dr. Zane has plenty of connections. He's treated everyone from the mayor to gang members.
One is so realistic.
Besides, Oxo Hospital has plenty of friends in reputable media outlets. If it comes down to a media war, no one can predict the winner.
You don't appear to be very busy.
Everyone instantly straightens up like soldiers at attention once they hear a familiar voice. Nervous, they greet Dr. Zane.
Grayson, contact Dr. Joel at Chansha Hospital and ask him to send over the files for those Protocore syndrome patients. We need to develop a new treatment plan for the patient with abnormal symptoms in bed number 12. They were transferred from the ER.
Got it. I'll contact him right away.
We might see more cases with abnormal symptoms. With patients being frequently transferred from the ER, everyone needs to be on call.
After methodically delegating the remaining tasks, staff watches as Zane disappears down the hallway.
Dr. Zane's composure is something else. He is not that much older than us, too. How is there such a huge gap?
It's like the difference between gods and mortals. We can only admire him from afar.
They're just slapping everyone in the face with this right now. And I love it. I love it.
Come on, let's get back to work. The best way we can help Dr. Zane is by doing our jobs well.
At 2:30 AM, Zane gets into his car after finishing his work. A notification pops up on his phone. The hospital director approved his application for the medical research project. His phone rings. Zane glances at the screen. It's Dr. Noah.
Zachary just called. He said you want to join the Fountain of Atay research project?
What? What? I thought Zane would be against the Fountain of Atay.
Yes.
What? This isn't surprising to Zane. You can already imagine the two Oxo Hospital higher-ups discussing the matter.
Thank you for convincing the director, Dr. Noah.
What are you planning? Because you're against humans
When
seeking
are you
something.
leaving?
Tomorrow.
He has to be destroying it from the inside or something.
You decided to do this after returning from Mount Eternal?
Am I? I'm sorry. This doesn't make sense. Like, I'm actually going through it right now because I was like, the Fountain of Atay obviously links back to what happened at the end of Homecoming Wings with Caleb. And it's like literally pursuit of immortality. Or am I crazy? It's literally the pursuit of immortality. This doesn't make sense as something that Zane would pursue. Let alone with Eva, especially after knowing what's everything. He's up to something. Silence fills the air in response, but the answer is already clear.
You make decisions surprisingly fast whenever it involves that incident.
Oh my god. Oh my god, are they touching on the summer incident?
I can't tell if the past is a chain that binds you, or a force that drives you.
Oh my god, you need to understand, I've literally waited for over a year to know more about this. Oh my god. Zane lowers his gaze, his expression remaining perfectly unfazed. Not a single hint of emotion appears.
Perhaps it's both.
You're still young. You're not alone in this world. Don't try to shoulder everything by yourself.
I can't tell if the past is a chain that binds you or a force that drives you. Oh, that's so true for Zane in so many ways. Before hanging up, Dr. Noah purposefully lets out another exaggerated sigh. Zane lowers his phone, its light slowly becoming dim in the heavy darkness of the night.
With so many people behind me, I should be the one walking ahead, yes?
Oh, he really does take his position as a leader seriously. At 3 in the morning, a lone car glides across the wet streets before coming to a stop in front of Maltosio. The store employee has already just flipped the sign to closed, but when they turn around, their final customer of the day greets them.
You're just in time, Dr. Zane. 1 minute later, and we would have been closed.
I'm sorry for coming in so late. I'll have 1 sea salt chiffon cake and 1 dark chocolate hazelnut brownie. Both of them to go.
He's so cute.
Yes. For the next month, could you please deliver 1 dessert each day to this address?
A whole month?
You can't do it?
We can. It's just that you've already reached our highest tier for award points.
Not surprised.
We can't give you anything else right now.
That's my dessert fiend right there. But for a whole month, if he's not then going on an expedition doing something, is he then going to be sending MC desserts for an entire month? Oh dude, she's going to be pissed off.
Are you going on another trip, Dr. Zane?
I would be pissed off. I'd be like, oh, okay, cool. Like, it's really beautiful that you've been so considerate of me, but also for so long again, Zane. Oh, but then again, it's like I respect him for his work and everything, but I'm so... Oh my god, this entire situation is leaving me in such a mystery for, like, especially after knowing his character. Zane not.
Please deliver the new menu items when they become available. Thank you.
I love him.
Don't worry. I wrote down the address. Let me just confirm the customer's name 1 more time. This is the young lady, right?
Okay, so yes, my character's last name may be the same as Zane's. As he places the desserts on the passenger seat, he notices the snow has already accumulated. It's about 1 inch deep on the road. The car radio broadcasts tomorrow's weather report. Overcast skies with heavy snow again. Experts have yet to determine the cause of these unusual weather patterns. Zane lowers his head, opens his recent contacts, and carefully writes a message about his departure. As he imagines her reaction, he's embraced in a reverie, his features softening with a gentle tenderness. And people say he's gone. After sending the message, he opens the notes on his phone. The most recent entry was made at 4 AM, the day before yesterday. They're touching on his dreams. First dream. Second dream, Mount Eternal. Third dream, Mount Eternal William. Fourth dream, chocolate, potted jasmine, gravestone, monster. This is... Fourth dream is literally Dawnbreaker. 14th dream, too fragmented. I can't remember anything clearly. He's putting it together. Ever since he returned from Chancellor City, these nightmares have appeared more frequently. It's as if fate is sending him omens. And Zane defies fate. Trying to ease the dull ache of fatigue, Zane massages his temples. He turns off his phone, tosses it into the seat, and grips the steering wheel. The windshield wipers sweep away the snow, but the snowfall grows heavier by the minute. He can barely see less than 50 meters ahead. When Zane finally makes out two white shapes as a mother and child stumbling along, his car is already dangerously close to them. He jerks the wheel violently to one side. The taillights cut arcs through the snow, and the car crashes through the wave-shaped guardrail. It comes to an abrupt stop in a strip of green vegetation. Terrified, the mother and her child fall. The kid in her arms is covered in crystals and resembles a twisted glass sculpture. In the darkness pierced by headlights, Zane sees something approaching the pair with slow, deliberate steps. Its breath is warm, its presence screaming danger.
Stay back!
It wears human clothes, but there's nothing human about this creature. Crystals have consumed most of its body that's hunched over. Strange growths are still pushing through whatever's left of its skin. Its face is twisted into a grotesque expression. Its pupils gleam an eerie dark blue. Each step it takes makes the ground tremble.
Stay away!
With the trembling hands, the woman covers her child's eyes.
Don't be scared. It's okay. Don't be scared.
Zane? Inside the car, Zane's nerves suddenly tense as the ringing in his ears, which has subsided, violently returns. Sharp spikes grow from the ice, materializing in his hands. Zane raises his arm and aims the icy thorns at the monster. The colors of the night silently encroach into the power. Oh my god. The colors of the night silently encroaches into this power. It's like death itself is waking up from a dream. As the monster raises its hand towards a mother and child, a cold gleam silently cuts through the air and pierces its chest. Fragmented ice blooms from the monster's chest and almost covers its entire body. The woman looks up in shock to see a figure step out from the car. Moonlight illuminates his cold, almost mechanical gaze. Also, the child and mother is just like very reminiscent of Dawnbreaker's adoptive mother. And like Dawnbreaker Zane when he was 12 as a child. And like his abomination adopted father trying to kill him. As the monster lunges forward, a thin blade of ice instantly materializes in his palm. Swept like the wind and emanating deadly frost, it flies toward the monster's body in a blink of an eye.
Mommy!
It's okay. Someone's here to help us. Just hold on a little longer. Stay awake. Promise me.
Amidst the shattering of ice crystals, everything seems to freeze in time. The monster falls to the ground and snow flies everywhere, obscuring all visibility. A white mist appears. A violent gust of wind howls and sends ice crystals towards the motionless woman. Still dazed from the recent brush with death, she stares ahead. From the blizzard, footsteps approach. Each step echoes and is like the ticking of a countdown.
Please, save my son. He hasn't turned into a monster yet. He won't become one of them.
The tall man blocks the car's headlights and casts a shadow over the mother and child before him. The woman shrinks back in fear and the chocolate slips from the child's trembling hands, falls onto the snow. Is this a nightmare? This is way too reminiscent of everything that happened to Dawnbreaker.
Saving him would be pointless.
How dare you!
Ignoring her anger, Zane bends down to pick up the chocolate and holds it out to her. Ice crystals fall from his fingertips, landing on the chocolate's wrapper. They melt to wash away the blossoming bloodstains.
He's beyond saving.
No! He hasn't turned into a monster! He's still alive! He...
Heart-wrenching sobs slice the darkness as clouds once again obscure the moon. Zane's silhouette quickly dissolves into the snowy night. What the hell just happened? That was our Zane. And then it went into him talking about nightmares, and then something that was such an overlap and similarity to what happened to Dawnbreaker and what Dawnbreaker has to execute.
So was it a nightmare? Was it Zane beginning to exhibit more of Dawnbreaker's mentality towards having to deal with abominations? How long has this been the case? Is this the first instance? Okay. I'm gonna go do the fights really quick. My heart is literally like going through so many different... My brain is running like crazy. Because like a lot of people have been like, oh my god, Zane, Dawnbreaker switching places. Zane and Dawnbreaker have literally never switched places. But this is like the most Dawnbreaker-esque behavior. Like, especially the coldness. And essentially what was literally happening in the scene is the most Dawnbreaker-esque behavior I have seen Zane actually exhibit. So I'm just really like... Not... Pause. I just looked at what the next thing's called. So, the next chapter is called Cosmic Spec, and the first chapter is called Dawnbreaker. Oh boy. Okay. That's where we're gonna end this episode. Or whatever. I'm gonna continue this in a moment. I need a moment.